Welcome back, everyone. Our next guest is no stranger to daytime television, having been a fixture on the Today Show and Live with Regis and Kathie Lee for decades. Well, now she has got a new book out. It is called It's Never Too Late. Make the next act of your life the best act of your life. And that may as well be her personal slogan, if you ask me, as Kathie Lee Gifford is constantly reinventing herself. She joins us now. Kathie Lee Gifford, welcome to the social.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, you guys. It looks cold and snowy up there. How nice.
It really is cold and snowy, but you are bringing the warmth. We are so delighted to have you here today. And listen, I'm going to try not to fangirl too much, but for those of us who've, seen you for years, we feel like we know you. And yet now you have this book. I'm curious to know what readers will learn about you that they didn't know before.
I'm even weirder than they thought, basically. Yeah. I had most. Let's face it. I am. I'm not your Jane Doe, and I think there's a lot of truth in the fact that nobody is what they actually just seem. Everybody's multifaceted. This book is one of many, many books I've written, but it's very. I think it's evolved. You were saying about reinventing, so I'd rather just keep evolving as a child of God. Be learning more things, staying on the journey and seeing where it takes me. And people go, you've had this amazing career. I said, you know what? I never planned any of it. None of it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not Madonna. Madonna goes, you know what's going to work next time? Cowgirl. I definitely wouldn't know how to do that.
I want to hone in on the second part of the title of your book, which is Make the Next Act of Your Life the Best Act of Your Life. What is that overall advice you think? And maybe you just mentioned it, that you think that readers will take away from that particular phrasing.
Well, I used to tell Hoda all the time when we first worked together. I said, you know what, Hoda? My joy is non-negotiable. And she goes, what? She sort of understood the truth of that right away without sort of completely understanding. I said, next time your contract comes up, yes, you'll negotiate the amount of time you get off, the amount, your salary. But what is not worth ever negotiating away is your joy. And that's what I think people are missing so much in their lives right now, ladies. They've got a job if they're blessed. A lot of people are out of work right now, and it's a hard time for everyone. But it's not the job they want. It's not their dream job. They've sort of gotten so far away from the dreams they had as a child, and they wonder why something's missing. Something's missing. And each time I left something that the world could not understand. Why in the world did you leave Regis at the height of the success? How in the world could you leave the Today Show when you and Hoda had built an amazing, success story again on another network at a different time with a different co-host? People just don't leave that kind of success. But when you're walking with God and you're listening to his still small voice, you hear something different in your inner spirit. It was like, Kathie, get ready. I'm taking you someplace new. I'm doing. The Bible says, I do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? And I don't want to miss out on that. That's where my joy is.
You mentioned your longtime co-host, Regis Philbin. I mean, the two of you together just created this kind of magic, and you write about him in the book. And you mentioned that people still come up to you every day and ask about him. What do you think was that magic secret that you had together, this kind of connection that you had? What was it?
Regis was alive when I finished the book. And he passed in July, and about 1 month, I think, shy of his 89th birthday, I think. And I'd had lunch with him 2 weeks before. We had friendship from day one. What we shared was a common feeling that we were the two most blessed people on the planet. He was pinching himself all the time that he was doing what he was doing. I still, to this day, I'm directing movies now, and I'm half the time just having to pinch myself. Yes, Kathie, you are hanging off a cliff in Utah right now, and you are directing a film that you wrote. And I can't believe it.
Kathie, I wanted to ask you about that, though, because, what you're saying is so inspirational, and yet there's this other element that maybe didn't exist a little generation ago, and that's a thing called social media.
Mm-hmm.
And you have said that you don't know if Regis and Kathie Lee, the show, would survive today in this social media era that perhaps the landscape has changed that drastically. How do you think that has changed daytime TV, talk TV?
The same way it's changed the world, and I think that's for the worse. I know it's helpful, and I know it keeps people connected, and it has lots of wonderful things about it. But it's been used as a weapon. It's weaponized people, and people that remain anonymous and finally have power. There's nothing more dangerous than anonymous power, because they're never held accountable for what they say. They're never held accountable for the damage and that they do, and the destruction they leave in their path with no thought. And they're sitting there, whatever their life is like, feeling like, well, I told them, with no concept of what's truly going on in another person's life. I don't think I ever could have had the career I've had, because I spoke my mind. I went with my gut. I never planned anything. I never gave a speech that I wrote in advance. And I don't to this day.
On the Today Show, you and Hoda had this incredible chemistry, and you were known for drinking wine on the show, which we got a lot of delight out of. Can you share where that tradition came from?
What do you mean, wine? Oh, it was funny because our show was on at 10 a.m. Now, nobody realizes that we've all been up since 2 o'clock in the morning then, so it's past brunch time at that point. But we never drank wine on the show, unless we had a cooking segment or something. But early in my tenure, shall we say, Chelsea Handler came on the show. She had just had a book come out called Hello, Vodka, It's Chelsea. And so our producers created all these, and Jerry, our prop guy, got all these cocktails for her. And it was a prop. It was a gag. And it worked. And she was thrilled, and everybody had a sip, and life went on. Next week, I think it was Brooke Shields who shows up, and she goes, "Where's my cocktail? Where's my cocktail?" And so Jerry for a margarita or something. I don't know. Next week after that, Joel McHale shows up with a bottle of his own Hennessy, drinking it as he's walking out. And all of a sudden, we realized, oh my gosh, we've created a party environment where people just, even though they're coming to sell a book or sell a movie or sell whatever they're selling, they're coming to have a good time. And they feel safe with us. So the next thing we know, we came in one morning, and sitting on the table in front of us is a glass of red wine and I had my wine line out by that time, Gift Wines, and it's my wine sitting there. And we're going, what is this? And they go, we just want to see how people will react to it. I said, they're going to hold us off in these if we're drinking it. They go, no, it's just a prop. Nobody said anything. You know why? Because all the suits at NBC had their big production meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning. They didn't even know we were drinking wine. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, our ratings went through the roof.
I feel like it's only fitting then that we say cheers to you and your new book. And what an absolute honor and pleasure to be able to chat with you today. So to you, Kathie Lee, a cheers.
Cheers.
To you as well, ladies. God bless, and happy holidays
Cheers.
to you. And may next year be a great blessing in everybody's lives. There is hope, everybody. It's never too late for hope.
It's so true. Let's remind everybody the book is entitled It's Never Too Late. It's available everywhere. We'll be back after this.